Hello everyone, welcome back to the real Queen Nefertiti article page. I'm here with some more articles and we'll be talking about and learning about coffin busts. Okay, this is a real thing when it comes to women having a baby after they death. That done happened to my late husband Michael, his mother Ella James. She had him while she was dying. So he is labeled a coffin buff. Me with my son Young Boy, I had him when I was dead. That's called a coffin buff. My daughter Jillian as well had her son Devontae when she was murdered, okay? That's called a coffin buff. Okay, so let's begin. I can find a clip. I found the clip for when Michael was born as a coffin buff. He became a vampire. Yeah, he was a vampire. Okay, he a demon and all that. He all the elements. Okay, anything like a werewolf. I mean, I don't think he a werewolf, but he a vampire because of his coffin buff. And I think Young Boy's an alien. Devontae too. Okay, because they just different. So let's begin. Um, Coffin buffs is post-mortem fetal extrusion. Analysis of a coffin buff case from an early, also, not Jeremiah, Casey. This article from ScienceDirect.com discusses a rare case of post-mortem fetal extrusion or coffin buff found in a medieval cemetery in Tuscany. Yes, even if you get your baby cut out of you, they call a coffin buff, okay? The article discusses the circumstances that may have led to the buff, including an empty space burial, a premature fetus, and syphilitic presentation. Yes, Michael was 7 months, but Devontae and well, I don't know, cause I had Young Boy. I think she was 6 months, but I think me Young Boy stayed in me for like 2 years. He got cut out in '95, well, a year and a half. When I came back, like after I shot her or whatever, they caught me and killed me, and then I came back in '96, and then they killed me again. Okay, but so he was like he stayed for a year. Okay, and he came back with Devontae. Medieval coffin buffs, a modern medical mystery, discusses the discovery of a medieval woman's skeleton, Michael Mama, and my great great grandma, and the remains of my great grandma, and the remains of a fetus in an Almelo, Italy archaeological dig in 2010. The article concludes that the remains are evidence of a coffin buff and that the woman had a hole in her skull caused by crepitation in ancient procedure. True. You can see in the clip that I put it when I put it in. The discovery of a coffin buff in a medieval grave by researchers shown across though. From the University of Farrer and the University of Bologna, the article describes the position of the fetus in the grave with its head and torso between the mother's thighs, that's actually the placenta, and its legs in her pelvic cavity, as if it had been partially expelled. The researchers also estimate the ages of the mother and fetus, with the mother between 25 and 35 years old and the fetus around 38 weeks, which is close to full term. Rare case of coffin buff seen in medieval graves, which occurs when gases build up inside the body of a deceased pregnant woman and force the fetus out of the birth canal. The article suggests that the burial is a rare example of this phenomenon, which is infrequently observed in archaeological records. Somebody sent me this article, okay? And when they sent me this article, I thought about Michael. That's the first person I thought of. And then later on, I forgot about Young Boy. But I didn't think Young Boy was, I didn't think I did before I had. But he said yes, I was, because he seen it. So, yeah, my dad said yes, okay. Now, Devontae did die with his mama. But 95, he came back with me. Well, he came back with me in 96. But then I died again. So, yeah, okay. Yes, I'm still grandma though. The coffin buff is a very rare finding in archaeological records. An insurance case was found in the medieval cemetery along Via Fangina in Tuscany. Accurate analysis reveals the circumstances for post-mortem fetal extrusion to occur. Okay. So that was just a little info. This is titled Red Case of Coffin Buffs Seen in Medieval Grave. And I did do research. I did find some on YouTube. I'm going to put in as well. The pregnant woman's remains may also suggest that she underwent cranial surgery due to a life-threatening complication. You're going to see it in the clip. Yeah, young boy died with me though. Okay, after they killed me, he came out and they went here and killed him. That's how he got the knock on his face. Okay, so they just came back up again in this life. But yes, this is my great great grandma. Okay. At some point in the 7th or 8th century, a pregnant woman died and was buried in the medieval Italian town of Imola. There is sadly nothing unusual about that, but when the woman's grave was discovered in 2010, two very strange details emerged. First, a cluster of tiny bones lay between the woman's legs, the remains of her fetus, which appeared to have been born after her death. Archaeologists also observed a small hole in the mother's skull, amplifying the mystery of her demise. Now at Brandon Spector Reports for Life Science, researchers have published a paper in YALL Neurosurgery that seeks to unpack what happened to the woman before and after she died. The unfortunate mother's remains was found faced up in a stone grave, suggesting that she had been deliberately buried. Analysts by scientists at the University of Hawaii and the University of Bologna revealed that the woman was between 25 and 35 when she died. Her fetus, whose gender could not be determined, appeared to have reached the 38th week of gestation, making it just 2 weeks shy of full term. According to Gizmodo's George Devosi, the baby's legs were still inside his mother, but the head and upper body appeared to have been born after she died. See? The authors of the study suggest that the burial offers a rare example of postmortem fetal extrusion, or coffin birth, which occurs when gases build up inside of the body of a deceased pregnant woman and force the fetus out of the birth canal. True. This gruesome phenomenon had only infrequently been observed in the archaeological record. Scientists were just as intrigued by the mysterious hole in the woman's skull. Measuring 4.6 millimeters in diameter, the hole was neat and clean, which suggests that it was not inflicted in a violent way. So you probably can see it in. She said no. They did rape her though. Okay. It is most likely, according to the study authors, that the hole was drilled in the woman's skull, as part of a crude surgical procedure known as repentation. Yes. The surgery performed as early at the nethoral area and was thought to relieve a variety of ailments from high fever to convulsions to intracarnal pressure. The woman's skulls also bore signs of a small linear incision which may show where her scalp was peeled back in preparation for the repentation. Okay, yes, I thought that the family did not want to keep Michael because he might be being a vampire, but I decided to keep him. But they said no, they didn't want to keep him. They just didn't know if he was going to be evil or not. But he didn't become evil. Why would medieval doctors perform such a dramatic procedure on a heavily pregnant woman? Question mark. Them, okay, the white supremacists. Researchers cannot be certain, but they theorize that the mother may have been suffering from preeclampsia or eclampsia pregnancy-related complications that were characterized by high blood pressure, impaired liver function, and in the case of eclampsia, seizures. Michael said no, okay? But she said she was having a seizure though. As the authors of the study note, common manifestations of the conditions also include symptoms like fevers, intracarnal pressure, and cerebral hemorrhages, which prior to the 20th century was treated with repentation. Scientists was able to observe signs of healing on the woman's skull, leading them to believe that she died about a week after the procedure. It remains unclear if her death was caused by the hypertensive pregnancy condition, the surgery, or some other complication. But the research team is nevertheless excited by the discovery. Evidence of fragmentation had been found in many ancient astrological remains, but signs of the surgery are rarely seen in skulls that date to the European Middle Ages. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I've been thinking about this, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't know what it called. And then all of a sudden I got this article and I was like, oh, okay, my answers were answered, okay? The postmortem coffin bust makes the woman's grave a doubtly unusual discovery, one that might very well shed light on how medieval doctors tried to help at-risk pregnant women. And that's basically the article of about coffin busts. So y'all like to know more? I'll release some more clips in the description, okay? Enjoy.